What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Couch Connect. Today I'm hanging out with Effie. Hi, Effie.
Hey, Joab.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. Thanks for welcoming us into onto your beautiful couch. It's nice hanging out with you today. Is there a preference for types of seats that people ever have? I've never thought of that.
That's an interesting question. I mean, I personally like couches.
Okay.
They are more relaxing. Um, I'm not a desk person or a dining table person per se. I'm couch and bed.
Okay.
Yes.
Couch and bed.
You'll find me, if I could have my way, I would eat in those two places and even do my homework. I do my homework on my couch and on my bed. Yes, I do.
Okay. So that's so that works for you, and I'm happy that it works for you. I used to be able to do this when I was younger. I would sit on the couch and I would work. Even on my computer, I could sit down on my couch and I could work. But now I can never get to do anything if I don't have a table in front of me.
Oh, yeah?
So I gotta have a table in front of me, and I gotta do it on the table, on a desk, a table, office desk or whatever, and that's for work. But I prefer couches over anything else because I get to sit down and they're soft and I feel relaxed and they are way better.
Absolutely.
Would you want a soft couch or a very hard couch?
Not a very hard couch, not
Okay.
a very soft couch.
Okay.
Just right, just in between,
Okay.
just like what we're sitting on. It's firm enough. So you're not totally sinking in, but it's also soft enough so you don't feel like you're sitting on cardboard.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I grew up with armchairs. Are those around anymore?
You'll have to remind me.
Yeah, armchairs. I don't know. Maybe that's not what they're called, but they're these types of seats that have, you sit in them, and then they have these arms that you put your
Okay, yes,
yeah,
yes,
your
yes,
hands
yes,
on.
yes. I think, we all grew up with those. Yes. It was necessary. If you
Yeah.
didn't have those in your house, you were not living.
Yeah, and my grandmother used to have this pieces of cloth that she would cover the seats with. Yeah. So in your culture, you also do the same thing?
Yes, it's either the cloth or some kind of plastic
Yeah.
over the seats. So
Yeah.
but my brother always used to cut it up, the plastic. So they ended up taking it off.
Yeah, and then when they start cutting it up, then when you sit on it, it's rough and it's cuts into your scratches your skin and stuff like that.
Yes. Totally
Yeah.
unsafe.
Yeah, and when I think about it, I feel like my grandmother used to do that so that she could protect the seats, make them last longer.
Absolutely.
But when I think about it now, I mean, we have all these couches and all these seats around, and we don't cover them, and they seem to be lasting quite, okay.
The times were different, right? The times were different. They had their own ways of preserving things. Like, for example, in the times when there were no refrigerators, they would cook with more, in my culture anyway, they would cook with more oil to preserve it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
So I don't know if you remember the pepper sauce I make.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have a lot of oil
Yeah.
on the top as a preservative.
So that oxygen can get into the food.
Exactly, like a sealant.
Yeah.
Right, so that mold doesn't grow, all types of fungus or whatever, bacteria, right? Yeah, but now that we have refrigerators, you don't need that thick layer of oil.
Yeah.
But then here I am, because that's how I grew up with.
Yeah.
That thick layer of oil is there, even though I have a lovely refrigerator.
Yeah, I remember eating your pepper soup. It's very delicious, by the way. I mean, very. The first time I had it was very strange to my culture, very strange to my tongue and my taste buds. How young or how old do you need to be in order to start making food in your
That's
culture?
an interesting question. Okay, so I'll tell you about my culture, and then I'll tell you about my experience, because
Okay.
those are two different things. So I'm Ghanaian, as you know. In my culture, the rite of passage, especially for little girls, by the age of, let's say, 8, 9, you're learning to boil water, you're learning to boil rice. You'll have to learn how to boil egg, just the simple things, and then as you get older, you make more complicated things like stews, where you have to make a base and then add your ingredients and all that stuff, right? So that's the culture. However, what happened to me, because I was the only girl and the last born, and daddy's girl at that, there was a little bit of friction between me and my mom, right? I wanted to learn. I would go to her in the kitchen and I would say, Mommy, what are you doing? Can I help? And she was just like, nope, go to your dad. Like, okay. So I was always chased out of the kitchen. The only times she was kind enough to allow me to see what she was doing was when she was baking something we call chips, but not the chips you all know. It's more of like a pastry, but we call it chips. And she would have to cream, butter, sugar, and is it butter, sugar, and milk, I believe? And that mixture, Joab, is delicious. So guess what? I'm like, Mommy, can I cream it for you? She's like, yeah, because she didn't want to stand there and do that for like an hour.
Yeah,
right?
And you have to do it for a long time.
A very long, because you want to whip it, right? And we didn't have those
like
handy mixers and things like that. You were the mixer.
Yeah. The mechanic, the motor that rotates everything.
Exactly. So I would do it. And then guess what? In the end, I get to lick the bowl. I got to lick the bowl. So I know how to mix for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, I know how to cook. But growing up, I did not get that experience of, boiling the water, making the rice. I had to learn that on my own.
Okay.
And later on.
And so then did you have an opportunity to play around with toys and, I don't know, maybe in your culture you have toys. In my culture, we had toys, and the only toy I probably remember playing with was a car tire, an old used car tire. So how about in your culture?
Yeah, we have toys. We have some indigenous games that we play. They call it hopscotch over here. It was more team-based play as opposed to like toys. The toys were for the rich kids.
Okay.
Yeah. But like you went outside, you played with your friends, you climbed trees that you weren't supposed to climb, the neighbors' trees. Yes. And we played house. We had real fire, so that was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as I grew, and right before we moved out of Ghana, actually, so I was around age 9, 10-ish there. That's when my parents started getting us like, toys. And I had this doll. They got me a real life-sized doll.
Yeah.
Super cute. I loved her. My brothers got
Named the
cars. Toy? Did I name her? No, I don't think I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we do that.
Okay.
Name our toys.
Okay, but I feel like the babies do name like the dolls, and they call, I don't know, these are Alicia or.
They do.
Okay.
They do. I did not grow up with like Barbies.
Okay, I see.
Didn't. I only have brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I was climbing trees. That doll was the one doll I had.
Yeah.
And, it was more like a friend kind of thing, or a sister, if you will, because I was always begging for a sister, right? So, it was interesting because when they bought us the toys, now the toys started coming in, and at first we didn't know what to do with them. But then we quickly, got to knowing how to play with them and things like that. And I guess, and then we left the country. So life changed totally. Yeah.
I had a very bad experience climbing trees twice. I fell down from a tree, from different trees twice. It was the first time, it was a bad accident, but it was not a very bad fall. So I had my scar. I think I have a scar to date.
Oh, no.
Went, got a couple of stitches, and that was that. And in the second instance, that was a bad fall, but I didn't get hurt. I was climbing up a tree. I don't know how high up I went. Back then, I think since I was young, I think I went very high up. But now thinking about it, maybe I was up from the ground, maybe 3 meters, 4 meters off of the ground. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm up on the tree, as I was climbing the tree, and I felt like I touched something soft at the back. And so I didn't know what it was. So I pull my head off to the side to see on the other side what is this soft thing that I'm touching. And there was this massive caterpillar.
Oh no.
A massive caterpillar.
Oh no.
So what did my instinct tell me? Let go.
Yes, of
I
everything.
let go. I don't know how I let go. I can't even, I don't remember thinking about letting go. I just know that I let go and I found myself on the floor. There was a massive rock at the base of the tree, massive flat rock, and I sat on the rock. I fell on my butt.
Oh.
I didn't feel any pain.
Okay.
I was okay. Now when I look back and I think about it, I was like, what if I fell, head first, or I don't know, legs first, or maybe even, my I fell on my coccyx, my back.
Yes.
Maybe right now you would never have seen me walking.
Right.
Didn't you have such experience? You were climbing up trees and I don't know.
Like falling off trees.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Joab, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a very careful person.
Okay.
Yes, I do what I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also very careful.
Okay.
My brothers, on the other hand, they be falling off trees.
Mm-hmm.
I never fell.
Okay.
I never fell. I would take my time to climb up,
Mm-hmm.
take my time to climb down,
Mm-hmm.
and go home safely. No scratches, nothing. The only time I got injured really was when I was learning how to ride a bike.
Okay. And what was that experience like?
Borderline traumatic, but also character building. Now that I look back on it, because it was hot. I remember it was hot. It was summer. We were out of school, and my brothers had their bikes, and I didn't have one because I didn't know how to ride. I was around 6, I think, and I told myself, I'm gonna learn how to ride a bike. That's it. I just decided that's it. And so I asked my brother, my oldest brother, could you please teach me how to ride a bike? And he says, oh, yeah, sure. I'll teach you. Okay. Yeah. He did like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Oh, I'm tired. Left me. I asked my younger brother. He's not younger than me, my immediate older brother. And he tried for a few minutes and he was like, this is just, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So they gave up, essentially, and went and sat in the shade. And I, on the other hand, I was like, oh no, I'm learning this thing today. I'm not going home. Long story short, I learned how to ride the bike, yes. But at the end of the day, when I went home, I was bloody. Like, my dress had smears, blood, my knees. I have scars still today from when I was learning how to ride the bicycle because I wouldn't give it a rest, even when I fell on gravel and whatever.
So you fell and went back on again?
Oh, yeah.
Blood went back
Blood
on
and
again.
all. Blood and all, because I guess I'm a determined person. I don't know.
Okay.
You can ask my husband. He can
Okay.
tell you. Yes,
Yeah.
I do what I want to do, unless if I don't want to do it.
Okay.
If I don't want to do something, then, but if I want it or if I have to do it, it'll happen.
You moved away from your country and you had all these different experiences and you had a different experience.
I did.
And so what is that new experience like?
Okay, so this is between the ages of 10 and 13. And we went to Sudan. We lived in North Sudan, in Khartoum. And it was strange initially, but it quickly grew on us. The people were very friendly. The Arabs, very friendly, even though we were dark-skinned. And they, most of the time, mistook us for South Sudanese, right? They were still very nice. Our landlords, landlady, their kids, we used to play together and everything. The shock I got, and which was one of the differences, is that, okay, growing up, I had long hair, right? But then when I got to grade 6, I felt like, oh, I'm grown. I want to look more mature. So I went to the barber and I cut off all my hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Clean shaven.
Yay. They used to call it a slope.
Okay, so there was a design to the yeah. I have an uncle of mine who says he does construction on his hair. So you constructed your hair.
Oh, yes, I did. But you know what's funny? I mean, this conversation is going so many ways. However, I'll just tell you this. The barber started tearing up
Oh,
before he cut my hair. He
oh,
was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I said, "Please cut my hair. I'm done. I don't want to sit to have it made anymore. It
yeah,
takes too long,
yeah.
you know." And as he cut it, he was crying. He was crying. And I was like, "Okay, it ain't that deep." But now I know why he was crying.
Yeah, and
Like
why is
as an
that?
adult, because number one, men in general are obsessed with long hair on women,
Okay.
I think. Number two is that there's this European standard of beauty that we have in Africa that says you are beautiful if you have long hair.
Okay.
You know, you are worth more if your hair is long, you know. And so that's why he reacted that way, because to him, I was a beautiful little girl and I was about to become ugly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I did not get it as a little girl. I didn't care what he was doing. I was, "You're crying. Why?" Like, whatever. But what hit me and still affects me till today is when I got home and my brothers looked at me and they were like, "Where is our sister?" Straight face. "Where is our sister? We don't know you. Our sister is beautiful. She has long hair. Who are you?" Yep. Yep. That was right before we left for Sudan. So, okay, that's the backdrop, right?
Okay.
So, I'm feeling all of this trauma from my brothers and now questioning my choice to do that, right? And then we travel, and to make matters worse, we go to an Arab country where all them girls have hair down to their knees.
Yep.
So I'm like, "Oh well, there goes my life," you know. So that made me to start growing out my hair again. You know, I would tell my mom, "Mom, well, how can I grow out my hair? You know, I need it to grow tomorrow."
Yeah. So
You know.
at this point, did you ever regret
Yes.
having your haircut by the
Yes.
barber? Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. It was painful because now I wasn't pretty anymore, you know, and at that age, it matters what people think about you. Not when you are 30,
Yeah.
of course, but not that I'm 30. We don't need to
Yeah.
know my age.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay.
when you're 10, I guess. So how?
Yeah, I
You're
was 10.
10.
Yeah.
At 10 is
Yeah.
probably it probably matters.
Very important. Very
Yeah. When I
important.
was 10, I thought that everybody thought it was thinking about me when I'm walking up and
Right?
down the street.
Like
Yeah.
they don't have anything else to do. Like you're the center of attention. And I guess it spans back to the egocentrism of children, where they feel like they're the center of the universe and everyone has to cater to them. Yeah. It's actually their reality. That's
Okay.
how they live. And that's why
Yeah.
that's what makes them do what they do and say the things that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you moved to this new country. So what does that connection become like between you and your siblings and going through this entire phase of hair business?
Well, so I'm entering teenagehood, right? And I mean, lots of changes, puberty, right? They had passed over that ground already, you know, and it was friction. There's a lot of friction. There's a lot of fights. I was in my room a lot. You know, I had my own room because I didn't have a sister. I coiled more. I was more to myself because I felt lonely as well.
Yeah.
So we didn't really relate we didn't really relate. My oldest had now started going to school in Kenya, in Maxwell High School. So I was with the middle child.
So at this point, you are still in Sudan, but your
Yeah.
brother is in
Yeah.
Kenya. Okay.
Yeah.
And you moved from Ghana.
Yes,
Okay. Which is where you were born.
that's where I was born.
And you were Ghanaian at this
I
point.
am Ghanaian.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right.
So born in Ghana, stayed there first 10 years of my life, moved to Sudan, lived in North Sudan for about 2-3 years.
And this is when your
And
brother goes
then-
to school.
Yes,
Okay.
he starts going to high school in Maxwell in Kenya. And I'm back in Sudan with the middle brother and attending an American middle school in Khartoum.
Okay.
So that was an interesting part of my life. I made friends from all over the world. We had every continent represented in our little
Yeah.
group, and
Yeah.
we had a diary that we used to pass around and write in, and it was pretty cool.
Do you still talk to those friends? I was
I
talking
don't
to-
even know where they are.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and I was telling her the way. I mean, I talk to my students now and tell them it is very possible that the guy you're sitting next to right now, 10 years from now, you'll have no idea where they are. Yeah, and the way when for me when I was in high school, even elementary school, I had these friends who I thought they would be my friends forever. My entire life, and different experience. Did your parents have a specific parenting style? I don't even know if there are parenting styles to start with, but
Back
yeah,
home. Okay,
yeah.
like in general, or are you talking about like African parents?
In general, African parents, or even in your experience, if you had a parenting style.
Okay, so let's start with, generically speaking.
Okay.
Are there parenting styles? I would say yes.
Okay.
Yes, there are. I believe I've heard of 3 parenting styles. So you have the authoritarian
Okay.
parenting style. You have the authoritative, and then you have the permissive, right? And so authoritarian is more like dictatorship, where I say jump, you say how high. You don't have a brain, I think for you. I say go, you go.
I have a
That's
big brain than you. Bigger
right,
brain than
exactly. Well, you know what I mean.
you. Yeah. Size-wise, speaking size-wise.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then with the authoritative, it's more like, okay, I'm in charge of you, correct? I'm in authority, correct? However, you as my subordinate, you can chime in when you need to, within your given boundaries.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's just how it is. I'm the one in authority, and I'm responsible to grow you this way.
Yeah.
Right. But I also respect that you're an individual. You have rights. You have feelings that have to be respected.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how I would define the authoritative parenting style. And then permissive is, hey, we buddies. We BFFs. Do you, boo? That's it. Do you want to eat ice cream for breakfast? Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You want to sleep at midnight on a school night? Okay, sweetie. Yeah.
All right, so what about a parent who doesn't really care? I mean, the kid is over there. I mean, you grab whatever you want to eat if you feel like eating.
That's
So that would be permissive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would
Okay.
say that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that we're talking about this right now because I'm in the middle of it.
Okay. You're gonna tell me about that, how you're working through it, because I'm a parent now, but I feel like I don't have a style yet. Maybe I'm in still the permissive stage because I have my first daughter right now. So you told me that these are the different parenting styles that are out there. So what about in Africa? I think you were gonna say something about in Africa in general, and then you're gonna come to your experience.
Yeah. So from my experience as a kid growing up in Africa, I would say my parents were more of the, it was a dictatorship.
Okay.
It was a
Authoritarian.
dictatorship. Yes, yes. There was no democracy.
They did all the thinking. I got the brain.
Yes, I'm the brains
Yeah.
and I direct the ship, you know. So, yeah, and fear was instilled as well. They would call it the fear of God, but we all know what it is.
What was
You
this?
know, it I have grown to understand that it's really a form of bullying,
Okay.
because if you look at it, kids kids are individuals, all right? Yes, they are immature and their brains are not fully developed. We get that. However, at the foundation of it, they are individuals who deserve respect, who deserve love, who deserve kindness. Everything that we would do for our friends, we should do for kids, right? So I'll give you an example. If you find a kid who is crying, albeit you might think it's for an unnecessary thing, but these are real feelings that they're having. They're cheering up, they're crying for something, right? Pretend it's your friend. Before you react, ask yourself, if this was my friend, if this was Effie, how would I react to this? Will I dismiss her feelings and say, stop crying, it's not that big of a deal, it's okay, you'll be fine, go do something else? You probably not do that.
Yeah.
You'd,
of course.
yeah, you would probably
I'll
say,
be more careful, you know.
exactly, exactly. And it's amazing what happens when you do that for a child. It's amazing. A whole lot of things happen. One, you have modeled a response for them instead of a reaction. And it's going to stick with them. So when they encounter that experience later on in life, they will respond the same way instead of reacting. There's a difference, right? And then number two, you have extinguished the fire that was burning.
Yeah.
Whatever situation they were feeling like the world is ending, because that's how they truly feel. My world is finished. I can't have a popsicle right now, right? So you have extinguished that fire. You've calmed them down. They are at peace. And now if you tell them, go do your homework,
then they'll go do their homework. Okay.
Because there's no fire anymore, right? Yeah. So I find that principle is non-existent back home. Like, kids are not looked at as wholesome individuals.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what they're looked at as, but it's like you're here, but you don't have a voice, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, I think for you, right? Okay. And so that was your experience then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was my experience. My dad was very authoritarian ish. You know, and my mom was slightly authoritative, but still leaning towards the authoritarian style of parenting, right? And you know, have you seen Sound of Music?
So I've started watching that movie multiple times. I've just never gotten to the end. I've started. I think when the ladies are singing in the hills, I think that's the only part I can remember.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched to the end. But I know that I think there's a bunch of very annoying nurses, not nurses, but what do you call them?
Governess.
Sisters.
Oh, okay. The nuns. Yeah.
The nuns.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
They're very authoritative, I guess.
They're
authoritarian.
strict.
Yeah, is the word.
They're strict, and there's children involved in that movie.
Okay,
you know, that's why I bring it up.
And sit and watch it.
Yeah,
again.
it's a good one. It's a good one because the captain, who's the father of the children, he was quite authoritarian, right? And then the main character, that lady, she comes in and she's more authoritative. And we can see clearly how the kids respond to each style.
Okay.
Right? And it's obvious which one is better.
Okay. And
right?
so the authoritative is better
Yes.
in the case of The Sound of Music.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in the case of Sound of Music.
Okay.
So yeah, growing up strict.
And your siblings had the same experience as well?
They did. They did rebel a lot. However, I said to you in the beginning, I'm a very careful person.
Yeah.
I do not like
Rebel.
trouble.
Okay.
If you say stay in this box,
You're
okay,
gonna sit in there.
I'll stay in this box.
Okay.
Yeah. But I will have fun in the box. I will live in
Yeah.
that box. I'll make sure my life is top-notch quality, but I'll stay in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so even your last born had the same experience, your last born sibling.
No, I am the last born.
Oh, you are the last
I am
one.
the last
Okay.
born, but I have a middle brother.
Okay.
I don't know how to refer to him sometimes.
Okay.
So it's like my immediate older brother, right? And then we have the eldest.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
I'm the youngest of three.
Oh, so you're
Yeah.
3. Okay.
Yeah. I'm the
I
youngest
see.
of three. There's 2 boys and then my
So what have you learned from that experience growing up, and how are you trying to mold that into your experience now as a parent?
in a nutshell, I have learned that it's okay to borrow lessons from the authoritarians. Yeah, just some lessons. And it's also okay to be more authoritative, right? Now, how does that look like in my parenting? Okay, so I'm a fun parent, or I like to think I'm fun.
Yeah.
Right. I have an almost 8-year-old, and then I have a 1-year-old.
Okay. So you've been trying to have fun when you're doing it.
Yes, and doing more things with my children, instead of just focusing so much on making them good children.
Yeah.
And making them good humans, right?
Okay.
So, because as you're parenting, you're also living your life,
Yeah.
right? So you don't want it to be all serious, right? There's a time for seriousness, yes, but then I believe that it's good to be balanced as well. So if they come and ask you to wrestle with them, don't say no
you're
all
on
the
the floor.
time. I'm on the floor. I'm on the floor wrestling. I dance with them. I love dancing, so I dance with them a lot. We do the tango, we do the waltz. Don't ask me if I know how to do it well,
Yeah.
but
You just do it.
we just do it, and they enjoy it. I've been dancing with Jide, my firstborn, ever since I could hold him up here with my thumb.
Yeah.
Right. And now he's almost to my shoulders, and we still dance. Right. And I'm starting to do the same thing with Zira as well. And it gives them something to look back on when they're older.
Yeah.
Right. I saw a reel on Instagram, and there was a phrase on there that said, we are the ghost of our children's future.
Explain that.
What you're doing now, what we are doing now, is going to be their memory, right? Like when they're older, you might not be there.
Yeah.
You become a ghost, essentially, right? Like, let's say, God forbid, you pass away or whatever, right?
Or you live in a different city.
Oh, you
different
live
country.
there. You go.
Yeah.
You live in a different city. Yeah. So you become that ghost. Memories are the things now they have to rely on,
Yeah.
right? So you want to create those cherished memories, where they can say things like, "Oh, my dad used to take me swimming every weekend," or "Oh, my mom, she would never let us go without kissing us," or something, or she always danced with us, or just fond memories like that. Not things like we always used to get a chapa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Chapa means a whooping.
Yes, a
Yeah.
whooping.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to have that balance, right? That balance. I can be fun, but I'm also strict.
Strict.
I will say strict.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm harsh, but I want my kids to be the best they can be, because I know they have the potential. So I will push them. I will stretch them out. If you're just doing fractions in school, if
Yeah.
it's a new topic, guess what you're coming to do at home? You're not coming to learn the introductory part of fractions. You're
Yeah.
doing 5 pages of it. You're going ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because why not? Because you can. You
N-
can do it.
Now that you're talking about, fractions, I'm reminded of a movie, Matilda, and then we had this principal who was very harsh in the movie. And I don't know. And I feel like it is very possible to have parents who are like that head teacher from, Matilda. I've heard cases where kids are at home and their parent comes home and they go scuttling and hiding or going to the rooms, and because they don't want to meet their father or their mother, and their parent in this case. How do you create that balance between being Matilda's head teacher and being, I think, the nanny who was taking care of Matilda,
Yes.
Yeah.
By being intentional
Okay.
with the fun part.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very easy to get stuck in the rut. Because you're not only parenting, right? You're also making sure they're fed. You're making sure there's other things that you have to do in the house.
Yeah.
In life, right? With the children. And then there is your self-development, because we all know, as we were talking about previously, my upbringing, right, affects how I parent.
Yep.
And some of the things I don't want to transfer. I
Yeah.
do not want to repeat. But guess what? It's a footprint in me. And I have to fight that. Now I have to do a self-work to undo.
So you have to be
that
very
effect.
intentional about that.
Yes. And it's hard. It's very hard. We've heard the phrase intentional parenting being thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
Joab, it is difficult. You really do have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about being intentional,
Okay.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it'll take all your energy. You'll be exhausted, but what makes you continue is when you, every now and then, you see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
Like every now and then our son now will wake up in the morning by himself and go straight to the shower himself, dress up, do all the things, come down and try to put cereal in his bowl.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay.
Do you ever, I don't know, get mad, when you come downstairs and you find that there's cereal on the floor? I don't know.
Like he made a mess.
Yeah, he made a mess
in trying,
when trying to prepare the food.
No.
Yeah.
No. We've learned to see and appreciate his efforts instead of criticizing. Yeah. We used to criticize a lot. Yes. Because again, that was what was done to us. So that's the natural reaction. So never mind that you got up and, you took initiative and did all these things. We just see that you spilled cereal on the floor.
Yeah.
And we're talking about that.
Yeah. And yet there's all this responsibility. I mean, I want to make my own breakfast. And maybe after spilling it on the floor 3-4 times, then maybe the 5th time I'm going to get it correctly.
Yeah. And the thing is, children know when they have made a mess. Yeah. They know. So do we really have to come in and say, why did you pour the cereal on the floor? Don't you see that you need to put it in the bowl? And it's the questions that get me, right? Because that's what we got, right? Not typically, but out here, a parent would say something like this. Oh, good morning, sweetheart. I see you tried to put cereal in your bowl. That's out here, right? Back home now, it's like, what is wrong with you? Why is the cereal on the floor? Don't you know it costs money? What's going on? Did I not teach you how to pour cereal?
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. Now I see.
So now
it.
the child is like, oh, okay. And
I don't need to prepare food maybe because I'm. Yeah.
Actually, you know what happens to them every time we criticize, they start hating themselves. It's actually so bad. They start hating themselves. They don't ever get mad at their parents. This is what I've found. They don't get mad at us. When we criticize or get angry with them and we react and everything, it makes them hate themselves. So when the person they love so much and respect so much and they worship pretty much is raining down negative things, well, I must have done something terrible. Well, I must be bad.
Yeah, and that's why they think of
and that's why this is why this is happening to me.
Okay.
You know. And so yes, they have that train of thought, but then instead of them changing their ways, remember they're not developed yet fully in thought, in reasoning.
Yeah.
So someone who's fully developed in reasoning would say, oh, okay, I did this time and I got criticized, so I need to change my action.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happens to kids. So they get criticized, they start thinking negatively about themselves, and then now they conclude, oh, well, I guess this is how I am, so, and this is the only way I get attention. So let me continue
doing it this way.
Bad.
Yeah.
And then the cycle continues. So they do more, and then they get criticized more, and then they do more, they continue doing more, and it just vicious cycle. Right? So I think it's very delicate.
Yeah.
This parenting thing, very delicate. It's one of, I'm not even going to say it's one of, for me, it's the hardest thing I think I'll ever do in my life.
And there's no school for that. There's no training that you can ever get.
Let me paint a picture for you. Okay? This is parenting. Hi, hello. This is a gift for you. It's cute, isn't it? Great. Okay, so with this gift, you are responsible to keep it alive. It's going to grow, yes. And it's going to have a brain. It's going to have thoughts of its own. You're supposed to shape and guide this brain. And eventually, for the Christians, help it to make it to heaven. Oh, by the way, there's no manual. Figure it out. Good luck. That is parenting. And you won't know until the baby gets here.
Yeah.
When they come,
that's when you realize there's no manual.
It hits you. You say, oh, because you don't know which ancestor's personality is coming.
Yeah.
You don't know whether it's a combination of your uncle who's stubborn and your aunt who's determined, and you don't know. It's like a wild card.
Yeah. And you gotta figure it out on your own.
You gotta play detective.
Yeah. So you told me that you when your son comes home from school and he did some math in school, some fractions in school. So when he gets home, you are trying to have them, go ahead of the teacher.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a reason why you do that?
Yes, because I like to challenge him. I know what he's capable of.
Okay.
Every parent likes to think that their kid is smart.
And
I'm no different.
Yeah.
I might be biased, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? I like to think he is smart. I have experienced it, and yes, other people have said it.
Yeah.
He's quite intelligent, and I know what he's capable of.
Yes.
But then, children also need to be encouraged.
Yeah.
To reach their potential, because again, they will not do it themselves.
Yep.
They're incapable of doing that.
Yep.
If you don't do that, they're gonna play all day. They'll play all day, literally, Joab, all day play. There's nothing wrong with playing, but they need to learn too.
Yeah.
So yes, I like to do that because I know he's capable, and also I'm thinking about his future.
Yeah.
We know education is very important. I know we live in an information age where, people can say, you really don't need to go to school to make money.
Yeah.
Which, it's true. It's true.
You can stay at home and, on your Game Boy.
TikTok. Alone can make you money.
Yeah,
YouTube.
Yeah, until the government says, we're banning TikTok.
Then you're done.
Yeah.
Right? Formal education or a trade.
Yeah.
Because I'm not knocking the trades, because when you need a plumber, don't you pay like $300 just for the plumber to come and look at your pipes?
Yep.
Okay.
And just when Claude, I think they put in a snake and then they unclogged. They bring a piece of hair out. With that, 30 minutes, $300 gone.
That's it.
Yep.
And it took that person deciding to go learn that trade to do that, right? So it's all important. It's all important. That's why I do encourage. That's why I do push. And I also look at his talents.
Yeah.
So I'm not stretching him in a direction that is so foreign that he's distressed by it.
Yeah.
No, he loves math.
Yeah.
He loves music. He loves construction type things where he's
so you got him Legos
hammering.
and stuff like that.
Yes,
Okay.
he likes things like that. So at one point I asked him, what do you want to be now? When in future, what do you want to be? Where are we at?
Yeah.
He's like, I want to be a surgeon because he likes hammers, and I was like, you can be an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah, with your hammer.
Because you can be sawing bones, you can be, you can do
hammering joints.
Exactly. You can have all those tools, but using it to heal instead of destroying stuff.
Yeah, which is
what he's doing now.
Okay. Growing up, there was this specific careers that most parents want their kids to become. And what are your thoughts about that now?
That's a good question. In the beginning being when I was younger, I didn't really think much about it. Like I said, I was a rule follower.
Yeah.
So, okay, you want me to go into this? I see the logic. Okay, fine. And then I went through this phase where it was about, well, what about my passions? What about what I like?
Yeah.
And, I want to be free to be me. And then I got into this stage where I'm at now, where it's like, you have to go where the money is.
Yeah.
Get the money first, and then you can follow your passions.
Yeah.
Because you can't follow your passions without money. You need money. So that's where I'm at now. And so that has also influenced my parenting. I see the wisdom in that now.
Yeah.
You have to do it to set the children up for success.
Yeah.
As long as there's interest, why not?
Yeah.
And again, there's talent there. So why not?
I know that you have a book out. So can you tell me about the book?
Okay, so the book is called Let's Write.
Okay.
It is a practice handwriting book for kids, ages 4 to 8, and it's just a simple line book, practice handwriting practice book, really, and it gives them the chance to explore whatever it is that they want to explore in regards to writing.
Okay.
I'm in love with handwriting.
Okay. Don't ever look at my handwriting. Look at this. Can you read what I've written here?
No, but I know you're also a doctor, so you are in good company. Yes, so I love to see penmanship, exquisite penmanship. It's just beautiful to me, right? So I wanted to encourage children within that age group, because that's when they start writing and start perfecting, not really perfecting, like just getting better at handwriting, to encourage them to write more instead of typing more, because I also feel like we're losing the art of writing, because with all this technology, like, who wants to hold a pencil anymore?
I recently realized that I do type faster than I can write.
Oh my.
For a very long time, I don't know why I thought that I write faster than type. But with the moment I realized that I type faster, I rarely do write anymore. I mean, I rather tap on my iPad. But then again, sometimes typing takes away the intuitive nature that comes with writing. I feel like with writing, I'm able to jot down my thoughts very quickly as opposed to when I'm typing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's called an art, I feel.
Yeah.
When there's okay, and again, I'm not an expert. These are my thoughts. These are my own thoughts. If they're logical to you, take it. If not, hey.
And Effie,
Yeah.
the Couch Connect, welcomes your thoughts.
Thank you, Joab. Okay, so this is what I think. I think because there's a connection between the hand and the brain, okay? When you are writing out your thoughts, it will flow better. It will flow better. You have emotions as well, because where you're communicating with your hand to write, the limbic system is also there.
Yeah.
The emotional seat, of the brain.
Yeah.
So everything is all there, right? As opposed to when there's a third party involved, like technology, right? And you're having to see, like, it's automated. Your brain is doing other things other than just flowing your thoughts onto the paper. It's looking for A, it's looking for S, T, it's looking for space bar, and then while you're doing that, there's a notification that comes and says Effie just messaged you, so you have to make it go away so you can continue. There's too much happening, right? As opposed to when it's just your writing instrument and the paper in a quiet place. Nothing more beautiful than that, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. And so, now going back to your book, how did you decide to create this wonderful piece of instrument that can enable kids to explore their art?
Well, I was sitting here one day. That's how every good story starts.
Yeah.
So I was here, and I love writing. I don't know if I've told you this before, but I guess I can say I'm a writer.
Okay.
But I've never published.
Okay.
I've always been afraid to publish because there's a level of vulnerability that comes with publishing your work.
Yeah.
And you open yourself up to so many opinions and critics, and I wasn't sure I was ready for that.
Yeah.
Years back. And even now, because this is my first book.
Yeah. Right?
And even though it's my first book, it's a low content book in that you don't hear my thoughts or my words.
Yeah.
It's you putting your thoughts and your words in there. I'm just giving you the medium.
Yeah.
But I thought to start with this one because I felt like it would get me, it was the easiest way for me to get into the publishing world without feeling a lot of pressure. Okay? So once I hit the publish button, I felt like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yep.
And I quickly started working on my other projects, which have been manuscripts have been sitting on my computer for not less than 5 years.
Okay.
And I've started trying to put them together.
Yeah.
And trying to make books out of it, and I've gotten so many other ideas from just my life right now. Yeah. And it's amazing. I cannot wait to put this work out there, these works out there, and it fills my heart with joy because now I'm actually fulfilling a lifelong dream of mine, which is to write, to be an author. Yeah. So
growing up, was this one of your dreams, you say? Then?
It was later on, like maybe young adult life, when I realized, oh, I enjoy writing, but I will say this, I've been writing all my life. Yeah. I told you we traveled a lot. Yeah. We traveled, Sudan was the first country, but there were others, right? And I had different experiences. Everything I've told you about is in different diaries. Yeah. Somewhere. I don't know where they are now. Yep. But there were books, so many books, and I always filled out my diaries. Always, 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 always. So, yeah, it's always been like that until my mom was even wondering, like, why are you always writing? Yeah. I'm like, Mommy, I like to write. Yeah. And also because I I like to talk a lot, but if there's no one to talk to, or if I feel like this, people may not understand me, or maybe they're not interested in what I have to say, my book will always be interested. It has no it has no mind, right? It'll always be interested in what I have to say. So it was a place of solace for me as well. Yeah.
What did you say the current book is called again?
What I just published? Let's Write.
Let's Write.
A handwriting practice book for kids.
Okay.
Yes. And it's on Amazon, Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Amazon.ca, I guess.
Yes.
And everybody can go over there and they can grab a copy for themselves or their kid. Guys like me who want to improve their handwriting deserve this book as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
That's good, Effie. I mean, I've learned so much from you this afternoon. And I guess that maybe I'm going to become a better parent than I currently am because, looking at, listening to your experience and all the things that you've, connected from your childhood and how you're parenting your kids now. I think that it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Folks, this has been The Couch Connect, and I will catch you again soon on another episode. See you soon.